All right, we know this. Communication is the key to everything, whether you're trying to figure out a conflict at work or maybe talking to those difficult family members. You'd be surprised to see how much you communicate with body language, though. We have Harvey Smith here. He's the CEO of Carolina Business Coach. He's here to explain it. We have our pens out and our pads because this girl has been raving about you for so long.
Yes, Harvey and I were introduced about a year ago, and I've come to you with some communication issues. I'm a people pleaser, you know, and I told you I find myself having the same issues over and over. So we were working through a few things, and the things that you were telling me, I'm like, we need to get this guy on TV. He's really good, and you've been in the corporate world, so you know what it's like coming from the business world, and you've taken 23 years of experience to now tell us what a lot of employers who will be doing the hiring are looking for, but that also translates to talking, like you mentioned, Juliana, to difficult family members. The first and foremost is I'm thinking about what to do with my body, because it's not our words that impact people. Very little has to do with our words. Most of it is our body language.
Yes. In fact, most people don't realize 55% of how we communicate is in our body language. 38% of how we communicate is our pace and our tonality. It's actually only 7% of how we speak is in our words.
Wow. But when it comes to our words, I thought this is interesting. This is something that you told me in one of our sessions. Whenever you can get someone to talk about themselves, it triggers the brain in a way that nothing else will matter if you can get them talking about themselves,
because people love to talk about themselves.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
We're all a bunch of narcissists. You told me it's as good as, am I even allowed to say this on TV, a great meal
or having sex.
You can say it.
The same part of the brain triggers, and that's why social media people love to talk about themselves on
That's correct. In fact, we teach our business people and also the people who are coming back into the workforce who have taken some time off how to communicate by understanding the 4 key styles of communication. Everyone is a blend of these 4 core styles: introverted, extroverted, task-oriented, and people-oriented. And when a person understands who's sitting in front of them, then they understand how best to communicate with that person.
So if I'm an introvert trying to communicate with an extrovert, I may feel personally offended, but that's just the way that person was born and the way I was born. And a lot of times people are communicating not to offend you. No one wants to go into a room and start conflict. It's just you're not in the same place. So once you know those people and the type of person they are, where do we go from there?
Well, we want our clients to understand that they should be listening to connect with that person. And second, we want them to understand that who is standing on the other side, and what do you need to do in order to be successful with that particular person? And third, we want every client to walk away understanding that we have a personal responsibility to become more effective in learning how to communicate. And this is not brain science. If I could learn it, other people could learn it. Though it is built on brain science. And we, as you've said, Christine, we're wired this way since we've been little boys and little girls, since we're children. And then as we grow up to be adults, we communicate. And we expect everyone is going to communicate exactly the same way, and we don't.
And if you're going in to ask for a raise or your teen's bedroom, what's the biggest thing that you tell clients?
Again, understand who this person is and speak in a language for which they understand.
So maybe comfort zone and matching them. Being more assertive if that person's assertive, or maybe if you're an assertive person, backing off a little bit and being softer if you know that they'll respond to that.
Yes.
And be an active listener, because that's how you're going to find out and have stronger communication rather than just waiting to add something in about yourself.
You're both very wise. It's listen to connect and not to judge. Because if you want to be successful as you are in your work, you are listening, you are understanding who that person is, and then you are effectively connecting so you can get the information you need and the information you want.
Harvey, you are, I'm not just saying this, but one of the wisest people I've ever met, and so I'm always wanting to know more. So if you're just, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So you are hosting dynamic communication seminars, one coming up next month and in June. We have some information on the screen we'll pull up, but tell us quickly about those.
Well, we want the public to know so they can be more effective with not only their business life, but with their personal life, so they can engage with their spouse, with their children, and with their parents, and even their friends. And when you're more successful, this is an opportunity to learn the 4 core behavioral styles and actually how to implement them so you can be successful by engaging other people.
Yeah,
that's what life's all about.
Yeah, and we can all, no matter where you're from, who you are, can learn something like that. Thank you so much for coming in, teaching us a little bit.